Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay, and choo-choo.
Ha! Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. Yeah. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, for joining us so much. All aboard the murder train. We are pulling away from the station, and oh, man, do we have a crazy story today. This is... We're going to have to figure some stuff out in this one. Let's just put it that way. Real quick at the top of the show, a couple of things to go over. I'm going to get through them quickly. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Get your tickets now. Tickets for the whole year are on sale.
You better hurry.
Salt Lake City sold out in like 14 hours somehow. Yeah. So that was crazy.
So
yes, these tickets are selling. Chicago. Boston is almost sold out already.
Wow.
You guys are savages out there. Thank you.
It's awesome.
Thank you so much. So get your tickets right now, rest of the year, and especially March. We are still tickets left for 2 shows in Seattle and 2 shows in Portland at the end of the month, the 23rd, 4th in Seattle, 25th in Portland, and those are different shows. So if you go to 2 shows, you go to both shows in Portland, you'll see 2 different shows. So just so you know, 2 shows in Seattle, same thing. So get your tickets there. Also, get your tickets to the virtual live show, April 20th, 420 virtual live show. I'm getting Jimmie super stoned and then telling him a murder story. And it's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a blast, just like a regular live show, but you're right in your living room. And that's available for 7 days afterwards. Also, after the 20th, so you can get it whenever you want. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is where you get all of that. Also, keep your eyes out. Your Stupid Opinions is coming.
It's
The
happening.
world is all reviews, and we're going to make fun of them. We're going to make fun of people's bad reviews, whether it's an Arby's in Tallahassee, Florida, or a baby aquatics class in Walla Walla, Washington.
Yes.
We're going to talk about weird stuff and how people complain about it. It's coming out and sometime in like the next 6 weeks, so keep your eyes open for that.
Keep your eyes open.
We'll pump it up as it gets closer to it. And, of course, patreon.com/crime and sports. All the bonus stuff. Crazy stuff this week, by the way, for Crime and Sports, which you get access to, of course. You get the whole back catalog, new episodes every other week. We are going to talk about that crazy picture of the death row baseball team from 1911 with a child in the middle for some reason. Who is that kid? Is he the most dangerous, or is he just hanging out?
He's a bad kid, yeah.
And then for Small Town Murder, really fun stuff. We're going to talk about defunct theme parks.
Oh.
What happened? One, a lion attacked a lady. There's all sorts of crazy stuff we'll talk about. So that's Patreon.
What?
Oh, yeah. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Get in there, get your bonus stuff, and get your shout out at the end of the regular show.
Great.
That said, let's do this, Jimmy. I think it's time to sit back right now. Clear the lungs. Where are you? Are you getting some meat at the deli section in the grocery store? Are you waiting for them to slice it? Well, when
Slicing capicola?
soon as they slap that capicola up on the up on the scale, you look that butcher dead in the eye when he goes a little over. Okay, you just look him dead in the eye, and you shout, "Shut up
and
give me murder!" There you go, and maybe you'll get a discount.
There you go.
Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
Or
what do
he
you
tells
say?
you, please get out.
Or he's like, I'll take a little off then, I guess. I guess a little over is not enough.
Too much?
Too much? All right. So that said, let's go on a trip. We're going all the way down to Tennessee today again.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while since Tennessee. We're going down to Monterey, Tennessee, as a matter of fact. Yes, Monterey.
Beautiful coastal Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, beautiful coastal Tennessee. I'm sure it's Monterey or some shit, but it's Monterey, everybody. It's between... This is out there.
It's some French guy named Terry's place.
Yeah, you know him, right? It's Monterey. That's how we do it. He sits right up on top of that holler. This is between Nashville and Knoxville, so kind of central Tennessee.
Yeah.
This is, if you're driving through Tennessee, this is an exit you pass and you go, whew, glad we don't need gas when we stop there, I think.
What the fuck is that place?
I'm not sure. Population 2,889 here. So
very small.
Small place. Median household income $24,770.
Whoa, the land that everybody forgot.
Yeah, this is a rough little
My
area.
God.
And when I tell you the story, you're going to go, "Oh, so this is like 1932. This is like Great Depression." No, this is 2009, the story.
My God.
And it sounds like it's happening during the Great Depression. It's crazy. So the median home cost here is $174,300.
How?
I don't know. I think that's because a lot of the homes have a lot of land on them. So you could probably get a trailer pretty cheap here or something like that.
Maybe you inherited it from somebody? Because
Possibly,
math ain't mathin'. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can't afford that on that any day of the week. So the little bit of history here, the Monterey is rooted in a settlement that developed around a landmark known as the Standing Stone. This is in the late 1700s. The stone was used as a guidepost for travelers along Avery's Trace, which I believe is probably where the I-40 is now, I would think, because they cut it through the hills, you know what I mean? It goes in the middle there. So, and it's believed to have earlier served as a boundary marker between the territories of the Cherokee and Shawnee tribes. So,
they just set a rock there, huh?
It's been there a long time. Yeah, don't go past here. This is the low rises are mine, is what that is. Like the wire.
The other side of this rock is dangerous.
That's right. So by 1805, 3 families had settled this permanently, and the Standing Stone Inn was established to cater to travelers.
Oh, very nice.
Someone will figure out a way to make money off of something here. So then there was a lot of coal going on here. The Cumberland Mountain Coal Company bought a shitload of property here.
Yeah.
And what they would do is they'd buy the rights to under your land.
Sure.
So people would be like, I get to stay here and you pay me? Sounds great.
Yeah.
And then when they're, a lot of times their land would collapse.
Shit caves in.
Yeah. They go, whoop, that's all right. So they had a contest to name this town. Okay, because they were building, this was like a company town at first. So a contest was held to name this town. and a guy named Major Robert John Moscrip, which is funny because he's got scrip in his name, and it's a coal company. He submitted Monterey, which means king of the mountains, and coal was king. So there you go. It made sense.
Oh.
Yep. So
very deep.
It's deep shit, man. It's
like
deep shit.
Coal mine.
Like a coal mine, deep, like a coal vein. Reviews of this town.
Yeah.
Here's a 5-star review. Monterey is a small town of 3,500. We're at 2,000 feet elevation, so it's in the mountains. It's in the hills.
No shit.
Our summers are mild. I think mild is what they're going for, and usually cool because we're on the Cumberland Plateau. The city is currently extending our water and sewer services, which will open commercial building opportunities. Well, that's helpful. We're
running water?
We're desperately in need of more businesses and job opportunities, and they need turlets. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We are more of a bedroom community. We've recently added to our tourism opportunities. I don't know about that. 4 stars. It's a small town, and most everyone is nice! ! As with all the towns, there are areas and people to avoid. There's not a lot to do, unfortunately. However, it's very peaceful and comfortable.
Well, that's nice.
It's helpful. 2 stars. Here we go. Middle Tennessee has always been my home, but I have seen this area gradually decay with drug use and apathy towards education. I do not see this situation getting better, as Middle Tennessee was always a bastion of education before this.
Right, yeah.
And plan to move as soon as I finish getting my education. 2 stars. Not a lot to do here, but if you're looking for peace and quiet, you will love it. The community is close-knit and are skeptical of outsiders. Yikes, that sounds like a 70s, like a 70s trucker movie, you know? Pulled on in with a flat tire, and they tried to take him and kidnap him, and he's... It's like a Chuck Norris movie.
Took everything out of the back of the truck and left me naked in the street.
That's it. There's a nice new train museum in town, but it will take but it'll only take 40 minutes to see. It's a quick little train museum. Right. 1 star. Places are not clean or sanitary looking. Business organization is sloppy, and customer service is not top priority because they know you have got to go to that store or drive to a further town with bigger stores.
Well, okay. It's also they probably don't have the means, dude. It's
one guy working there.
And they make no money.
Yeah, it's $24,000 a year here. So things to do: the Monterey Depot Museum, and
There's the train. Yeah.
It's a replica depot, but more. It's got trains, and they also have. I'll read from their thing here, but it's more than trains. It's about everything from prehistoric Indians to coal miners, lumbermen, soldiers, and people of the mountain community. Monterey's official motto, quote, "where hilltops kiss the sky." I'm saving that for now.
Boy.
Oh, man. The town is actually higher in edge of elevation than Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. Well, then. Now, they claim that there will be boutiques, food trucks, and bring the kids to enjoy the kids zone. And, of course, there'll be, and this is all capital letters and 3 exclamation points, tons of banana pudding.
Great.
I don't think you expected that, probably. And but there's a banana pudding tasting, $5 each person, cash only.
You bet.
Wow. First place winner gets $1,000. Wow. So
for what?
The best banana pudding.
$1,000.
$1,000 for your banana pudding.
I guarantee you somebody won that with Jell-O one year.
It's like, this is delicious. I love the way it says banana pudding tasting, $5 each person, cash only, starts at 11 a.m. at the Big White Barn.
Oh,
You're supposed to know what that is, the Big White Barn.
The big one.
You make a left at the old water tower, where the old water tower used to be. You make a left there. You make a right at Old Man Johnson's farm, and you'll be by the big white barn.
But if what if there's got to be more than one, right?
Beats the shit out of me.
Wrong white barn. This is the little white barn.
Where's the pudding?
Seems big to me.
I'm here for pudding. Come with a bib on and shit and a spoon in your hand. That said, let's talk about some murder, shall we?
Let's do it.
Now, I can't overemphasize this. This starts in May of 2009, okay?
It's very recent.
Not May of 1929.
Right.
The market didn't just crash and, Okay, so let's talk about some people. Let's talk about an older lady here. Vida Clark is her name.
Vida.
Okay, Vida. Now, Vida lives on a property over here, and she lives near her sons. Well, actually, she's got 3 sons, Jerry Clark, Kevin Clark, and Roy Clark. That's oldest to youngest.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, those are the Clark boys.
Last name Clark. Got it.
Yeah. Vida Clark, Jerry Clark, Kevin Clark, Roy Clark. God damn it. So now, Roy. Now, Kevin, Jerry owned the property that everybody lived on. I don't know if he inherited it from the father because the father seems to be dead here. So, or he jumped off a cliff when he understood the people he was living with. Because wow, this is crazy.
So
he may have just left.
And everybody's living with him?
Possible. No. He doesn't live here. Oh. He doesn't live here. He owns the land, and he sells. There's a big plot of land. His mother lives in a house with the younger brother, Roy, the youngest, who's an adult but still lives with mom. And
Just a baby.
They live there, and then he sells half the property, the adjoining property, basically, to his brother Kevin, who builds a house on it and moves in there. So Kevin and his wife, Susan, live in the one house, and then Roy and Vida, mother and son, live in the other house, and Jerry lives somewhere else. That's how it goes. Now, Kevin Clark, interesting life he's got. It's a hard scrabble life for Kevin Clark
he
here.
And Susan are struggling?
Well, Susan Beth Clark is his wife, and Kevin works the 3rd shift for the sanitation crew at the Purdue Farms chicken processing plant in Monterey.
What?
Okay, as comedians, if you were going to say, like, if you were going to compare something to I'd rather do XYZ, it would be I'd rather work the 3rd shift sanitation crew at the Purdue Farms processing fucking plant. That's what I'd rather do than do that job.
Then serve this to you.
That's the worst. Like, can you think of a worse job?
No. Mike Rowe has probably done that job. That's a bad job.
People who work in sewers are like, at least I'm not picking up chicken parts and fucking stuck in it. I mean, this is crazy.
Is he doing the sanitation of the fucking butchering?
It's the sanitation crew at the chicken processing plant. So imagine what's left over to sanitize. It's disgusting.
So gross.
That's disgusting. So now Kevin's future ex-wife, we'll call her Susan Beth Clark, because obviously. So they lived like I said, on a property that adjoined the property owned by Vida Clark, or lived on by Vida Clark and Roy Clark. Now, Kevin's had some issues lately. He's not quite the same as he's been.
Oh.
Okay, his work schedule has been changed to 3rd shift.
Oh, he was on 2nd?
He was on, I don't know which one, 2nd or 1st, but now he's working overnights at the chicken processing plant, which is not...
He's not happy.
It's not sitting well with his mental acuity and well-being here.
Sure.
He is currently taking medication for what's been called, quote, panic anxiety and depression anxiety as well.
He should have disclosed that to his boss.
I would assume so. But yeah, this is literally making me take medication because I'm so depressed because I work in the middle of the night at the processing plant. But in this area,
I've never seen the sun.
In this area, when the median household income is $24,000, if you have a job at the processing plant, you're trying to keep it. You know, I mean, 3rd shift or not, they kind of got you by the balls there. It's miserable, and then they're going to chop them off and part them out. And
got you by the gizzard.
Got you by the gizzards there, buddy. So that's just a rough life. How do you?
Oh my God! Dude,
how do you plan for that?
But that's a demotion, though, right? To work that shift, unless everybody rotates,
or
but
unless
even if you don't,
he was made like head of the crew. But he's got to start in 3rd shift. That happens.
You've got to do that shift, right? If you want to be foreman, you got to work. Come in at 11, bitch. That's the only way you get it.
Just plan your life's going to be miserable. That's all there is.
Jesus.
It's man. I mean, hope to get off of the shift eventually.
Don't worry, Ronnie on 2nd shift. He's retiring in 6 years.
He's got the diabetes and his leg turned blue last week, so I don't think he's going to last much longer. I'll tell you what.
Stick it out 6 years. I'll tell you what, boy, you will get that job.
They're going to take his foot. I'll tell you, they're going to take his foot. So you tell you what, buddy, you just hope for farts but plan for shit, pal, and everything's going to be fine. Does that sound like a country folksy saying?
Feels like my life.
Hope for farts and plan for shit. That's what we all do. So Now, Susan said that she thought Kevin was taking his medication as prescribed by the doctor, but then he started having changes in his personality, such as forgetting everything, forgetfulness, and things start slipping his mind. She then learned that he's been not taking it as prescribed. She's been doing all sorts of shit here. So she took him to the doctor, who switched his medicine to, as Susan put it, quote, the opposite of what he was taking before. I don't know. I don't think.
All right, so.
This is the opposite I'm going to give you now. This is the antidote to what that was. I don't think that's what he said, right?
You know how you were taking this? I'm going to make you go the other way.
Now, this doctor, by the way, was like a guy who lived in a hollowed-out tree probably and was like, had like a bird as his assistant. I'm not sure. We don't know.
Give him saltpeter or something like that.
I don't know what's going on. Give him some hardtack. He'll be all right. So she said it, quote, really messed with him. Okay. Now, a guy named Michael Hartung, he's the ex-husband of Kevin's sister. So he's Kevin's former brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. And he knew obviously Kevin, and he knew that whole thing. He actually helped Kevin build the home that Kevin lives in.
Oh.
On the property there. So he said that they had a pretty good relationship. They got along. However, he also said that several times out of nowhere, this Hartung guy, Kevin Clark, called him at work and threatened him.
For what?
That's the thing. Well, he said that Kevin told him that he better treat his sister right, and then not that he didn't. He wasn't mistreating his sister. He just got a wild hair up his ass just to tell him that you better mind your P's and Q's around my sister.
I get this feeling he might not be. I'm going to let him know what will happen if that's the case.
You know what? I'm thinking about it, and someday he might want to be mean, and I'm going to stop that right now. I'm nip that in the bud right now. He said that he better...
I would advise you against that, my friend.
That's right. He said he better treat him right and threatened to, quote, whoop his ass if he didn't.
Okay.
So ass whoopings are on the table now.
Proposed.
That's right. So this Michael Hartung told his wife, who's Kevin's sister, about it.
Right.
And said that Kevin seemed to be doing this after drinking. He said, it sounds like he's drinking when he's calling me. He gets angry and, he's looking for someone to lash out at. So this guy recalled that Kevin would get, quote, real intoxicated, and sometimes he would, be on pills and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's taking pills and drinking at the same time. This guy said, though, it escalated to the point where he became what he called really concerned about the whole thing. So he said that a couple times that Kevin came to his house and tried to get him and his wife, Kevin's sister, to go to church.
Okay.
And he just pop up out of nowhere and be like, you need to come to church. And they're like,
come repent.
You're nuts. Maybe, but not with you.
Right.
Maybe we have our own plans, but
we've been going to church. You haven't seen us because we go to a different one. Don't worry about it.
We're avoiding you. That's what we're saying here, buddy. It's
point is, we don't go to that one because you're there.
Remember that barbecue we had last weekend? No, because we didn't invite you. That's why. But we had one. There was potato salad and everything. But we ain't inviting you to it.
Church folk.
Yeah. Scared of your crazy ass. So May 12th, 2009. Again, can't tell you more to keep the year in mind through this whole thing. Okay. Susan gets home from work at about 5:30 p.m., Kevin's wife. And she said, quote, there was a fence across the driveway that had yellow bags on it.
Huh.
Across her driveway.
New fence.
Yeah, came home from work, now my driveway's fenced off.
With yellow bags.
With yellow bags on it, plastic bags. She said that no secondary driveway was there to access her house, as most people don't have two driveways. So she said the driveway was blocked by the fence. That's the only driveway to her house. So she said the sight of the fence made her, this is her quote, physically ill.
What?
This is amazing. Okay. The sight of the fence making her physically ill. Now she has to, now feeling all ill, she's, quote, forced to drive up a field. Up a field. Not in a field or through a field, up a field. To get to her house. And then she, quote, nearly damaging her car. How do you nearly damage something?
Why are you so sick about fences? Is it yellow tape? Does it say crime scene on it?
She came home and there is a legit fence built so she can't get through into her driveway. So that is a problem. I would assume that physically angry would be the thing. I wouldn't be nauseous about it, probably.
She's so mad she's sick.
Got me sick mad and nearly damaged her car, which isn't a thing. That doesn't happen. So, wow. She said that she got in the house. She was obviously physically ill and all sorts of ornery about it, but she didn't immediately wake Kevin up because he was sleeping because he works third shift. So you don't wake a third shifter up at 5 o'clock and say there's a fence in the driveway.
Dare.
He's like, I have to pick up chicken parts at 2 in the fucking morning. I don't care. This can wait.
Will it be there when I wake up?
Yes? Great. If not, problem solved. There we go.
Shut it.
The fuck up. So she said that he was sleeping and she started cleaning the kitchen instead. Mm-hmm. Fuck it. At one point, okay, this is where we need some interpretation, people. She, and this is a quote, she went to the back field to scrape out some scrap food.
Okay, so
what the fuck does that mean? Does she have turnips growing back there or something?
No, I think she was cleaning the cast iron is what she was doing. She took out the pan, went out back and scraped it out of the pan. The shit that we were not going to eat, that's all burned shit on the pan.
To the back field?
Yeah, I guess.
How far out into the field do you need to go for this?
Where does the back field start? Does it start like right after the patio?
I would feel like there's a yard and then there's the back fields beyond that. So I feel like she went, out in the yard is another thing.
There's a few clicks before you get to it.
Yeah, the back field's another area I feel like we haven't gotten to yet. To scrape out scrap food. It's not scrape out scrap food. That tells me that's you're going to use that. Right. I feel like she's not getting rid of scrap. She's collecting scrap food is what it sounds like.
Scrape out the yellow bag.
It doesn't make sense. Went to the backfield to scrape out scrap food. That's her
statement?
That's her quote. I went to the backfield to scrape out scrap food.
And nobody asked for clarification because they knew what she meant.
That's the thing. This is, I guess, in Middle Tennessee, you went, where was she? She's in the back scraping out the scrap food. People are like, oh, okay, I'm following
in the
now.
Backfield.
Yeah, I'm following now. The backfield. Yeah, that's where we all go to scrape out our scrap food too. I don't know. I don't know what. I thought about does she have is there like a cool storage out there or something where you would have like food, like
the scrap food?
Scrap food, yeah, like odds and ends that you've collected that you're going to save to use.
Is there a particular varmint? That's considered scrap food, and you've got to go out in the backfield to get it,
or to scrape out some scrap food. So is it like in the ground?
That's the way you bait it.
Yeah, or is it in the ground? Do you bury your scrap food?
You gotta find
later
the scrap food holes, and then you open them up, and there'll be a whole den of scrap food.
Is there refrigeration? Like, what's happening? I don't know. I'm really confused. Well, apparently she's not the only folk out in the backfield here, because while out in the backfield scraping out some scrap food, I suppose. I just keep every time I say it, I look up to make sure that I'm not. That's actually what it is. And I'm like, it's scrap food. And she overheard Vida and Roy, Kevin's mom, her mother-in-law, and her brother-in-law, Roy, here, and Sharon Miller, who's another person hanging around.
Oh, lots of people scraping.
Everybody's scraping out some scrap food. The backfield gets real hopping at about 6 o'clock at night. It's real lot of traffic in the backfield back then. Now, that's what I mean. 2009, we're scraping out scrap food. I don't know what's happening.
We got a scrape. You can't even say it.
I don't even know.
It's so foreign. It's so weird.
This is like when we found groundhog for breakfast and when we found scrapple. This is like a very weird moment. I feel like we've discovered some very strange. We don't know anything about it.
Scrape pile out there.
Oh man, go scrape the scrap pile. God damn it, Jesus Christ! What the hell you been doing all day? Like, is that what happens? Are those words ever said to people? I don't know.
Turn the scrap pile over.
Turn it over. Let's go. Jesus, there's better stuff on the bottom. There's apple cores and shit on the bottom. You're going to want that.
It's getting real hard. You got to flip it over so it decomposes.
When I hear scrap food, I picture what you feed to pigs. When I see people like dropping in a trough with like corn cobs and like old apple cores and shit that you don't want.
All the shit you won't eat.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is. And why is she scraping
organic trash?
Yeah, like at least get some. Tell him to bring home some chicken from the Purdue place or something. So she overhears while she's out here, Susan, overhears these three in the field, quote, whispering and snickering and laughing. Now, don't you be whispering, snickering, and laughing at me, God damn it. So you don't whisper, snicker, and laugh at people in the hills when they're scraping out scrap food. You just don't do it. It's known.
I'm trying to concentrate.
It's a known thing that you don't do, obviously. Yeah. So she then said, Susan, that she believes that the three of them who were whispering, snickering, and laughing wanted her to wake Kevin and tell him about the fence. Like she thought they were baiting her. Trying to troll her into an over-response. And
he's the one on mental medication.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's doing real weird shit here.
Fascinating gal.
And she said because she thought that they wanted her to do that, she didn't do it. She didn't wake them up because that's what they want. And I'm not giving them what they want because they're snickering and a whispering.
Boy, so they thinkers.
They really they have a theory for everything over here. So
there's still internal monologue happening 24 hours
all
a day.
The time. Well, yeah.
To nobody's knowledge.
Then again,
shit happening in there.
You're scraping out your scrap food. That's an everyday occurrence. You're really, your mind wanders because your body is an autopilot at that point. So you start thinking about things and you can really get deep in subjects. You should hear her talk about origin of life and where the universe came from. It's deep. It's deep shit.
Shit's really happening.
It's deep, brother. So she woke him up at 9, just like usual. That's when he has to get up at 9. And at that point, she woke him up, said, "Get up! You got to clean up discarded chicken parts at 3 a.m. And then also,
it's time to sweep the feet.
You can't get in or out of the driveway because someone done built a fence in front of it. Now,
let me tell you more."
He responded, quote, "You're kidding." That's all he said. "You're kidding." Then he looked out, saw that she wasn't kidding, and there is, in fact, a fence in his driveway. So he called his older brother, Jerry. Get Jerry on the horn here, okay? Yeah. He tells Jerry that Mom and Roy put a fence across my driveway.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. So Jerry said that he suggested that Kevin complete a driveway that he started to build on another part of the property. Just build another driveway is the solution to this.
That's the easy answer?
That's the easy answer, is to quote, avoid trouble. Listen, so you don't need a driveway right now. You started the driveway. Just build another driveway. Who cares, right?
A yellow bag fence is stopping you.
This is crazy right away. Everything everybody does is like, what? Why? What are you talking about? Why are you doing
down
that?
the fence. If somebody put it up in the time that you were gone, feels like you could probably take it down pretty quick.
Probably quicker. Yeah. You probably got a truck he has a rusty truck with like a rusty bumper, I feel
Absolutely.
Like. Fucking push that thing right over. Who cares? Yeah. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So so Kevin said that that's ridiculous. He said he should be permitted to use the existing driveway.
Oh, my God.
And
that's a sticking point.
Said that he's going to hire a lawyer to look into the issue.
Sir.
I will pay you in scrap food.
Do you take feathers and feet?
Y'all take scrap food? So, I mean, I'm perplexed here. So, after he said that, Jerry told him, quote, well, do whatever you need to do. In other words, I don't give a shit, Adam. I don't live there. That's between y'all, and I don't give a fuck what's happening.
You've taken this conversation as far as I'm capable of taking.
I don't care. And then Kevin told him, quote, I believe I'm just going to take care of this myself. So he went from, the plan went from other driveway, avoid trouble. I'm going to bring the law into this too.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of business on my own.
I got this.
Yeah. So Jerry said at that point, he encouraged Kevin a second time to just use the other driveway, man. This isn't worth it, right?
It's not that hard.
And Kevin just said, I'm going to take care of it. Wouldn't say what he was going to do, but he just said, I'm going to take care of it. And then after he finished, he hung up the phone, Kevin, and turned to Susan and said, quote, I can't worry about it now. I've got to go to work.
Yeah.
I got disgusting, putrid chicken parts to clean up, and guts and gizzards and blood and gross shit.
More sympathetic I can't be.
Oh my God, that's a brutal job. That's a brutal job, man. That's I gotta give him credit for going there every day. So Susan said that Kevin wasn't even mad or upset. He, quote, just seemed real puzzled. Just why would they do that? This is so weird. Yeah. It's almost like a trick. Like, are they going to just take it down and laugh later? Is it like not in the ground all the way? It's just a joke. Like, is this? Am I?
Yeah. Is Ashton around?
Exactly. Is this punked?
Practical Jokers thing?
Is it 2001? What's happening right now?
Are there four best friends laughing at me somewhere?
Yeah. Is there a piss poor actor that's somehow on this show that's going to be way more famous than he should be in 20 years? Taking up valuable top-of-the-chart podcast space. Is he here? Hello? Hello? That guy acts like shit.
They all do, because they're not actors.
That's what I'm saying. I can't do it.
It's just dudes.
Here's a guy. So, anyway, at work that night, he goes to work. He's real puzzled. He goes off to work. It says that night, the guy he works with name is William Brockett. And it goes by Tim sometimes because he's William Timothy Brockett. So sometimes he's Billy and sometimes he's Timmy. And I don't know.
Sometimes he's Billy Tim.
Billy Tim. I mean, he's trying to avoid Billy Tim and he's trying to just be different things to different people. So Kevin came in hot to work talking about this. He's pissed off at his brother.
This fence, God damn it.
William said that he was going off, quote, about a fence that had been put up across his driveway. He said that Kevin told him that if the fence was still up when he got off work that morning and went home, he's going to kill that son of a bitch. His brother, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the fence. I'm going to take a baseball bat and just kill it. Rather than start with take the fence down before we go to fucking, before you jump from lawyer to murder, let's take the fence down and worry about it that way.
You got to assume the fence and driveway is on his property. Otherwise, why would he put the driveway there? If it's on somebody else's property, move the fucking driveway.
Move the fence, yeah, but it's like family, and I don't know where the property lines are because Jerry sold him a chunk of property.
Right.
Who knows if Jerry properly
What'd you do, Jer?
parceled out this land? Did Jerry get a surveyor out there, do you think? Do you think a surveyor works for Jerry? I don't.
No.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no.
Very few Jerrys have it all together.
There's no little guy with that thing on a tripod looking through it, finding none of that's happening there.
Beep, beep.
Nope, none of it. So now Brockette here, Billy Tim, he said that, he didn't take it seriously because he's blowing off steam. He said that he just thought he was blowing off steam. He said that Kevin seemed very frustrated about the fence, but who cares? You know what I mean? So this Billy Tim said that he told Kevin he should call an attorney to deal with the situation, and even gave him the name of an attorney that he's dealt with before. God damn it, I had the same idea. Yep. And he said that he took the information, but Kevin just told Billy Tim that, quote, "It just burns me up how my brother acts." That was the words he used. Burns me up how he acts. Yeah. So according to Billy Tim, Kevin said that his mother had always taken up for Roy. Yep, Roy's the fit. He said, always taking up for Roy, and Roy can't do anything wrong ever, and she's always got excuses for everything that little ass bitch Roy does. Little fucking Roy. Roy. He's very angry about Roy. Okay. So jealous of Roy. He's got a Marsha thing going on here. And Billy Tim said that, quote, "It seems like there was a lot of frustration from the past years, had boiled up to this." So eventually they began to work, with their chicken parts, and that's pretty encompassing. And the fence didn't come up again for the rest of the shift. This was at the top of the day. Wow, he clocked in bitching about the fence. This motherfucking fence, goddammit! And then once they were up to their elbows in chicken shit, it was over. Yeah, it's hard to remember that. Yeah. So Billy Tim said that Kevin left before 5 a.m. From his shift, and explained that Kevin said he intended to buy a weed eater from Billy Tim, but had forgot the weed eater he paid for it, but he forgot to get it out of Billy Tim's truck. So there's the weed eater in there. He said that when he saw the weed eater was still in his truck, he tried to call Kevin, but Kevin didn't answer. And there's good reason for that because he's busy. He's got a lot of stuff going on here. So he returns from work in the morning. He's been cleaning up chicken parts and smelling that crap all fucking night long, and now he comes home
10 p.m.
to a fence across his driveway.
Oh, Jesus.
He returned from work. He told her that he told Susan, "Look, I need to mow a neighbor's yard before it rains. It's supposed to rain today, and I, quote, cannot deal with this today. So I got other shit going on. I've cleaned up chicken parts. Now I got to mow a lawn." That's how my day is going.
Burner the fence for a minute.
We got to backfield the fence. Put it with the scrap food back there. He said that she said that she told him that they could discuss the fence with her brother, who's an attorney, by the way, when she finished her shift at work. Kevin said, that sounds like a good idea, and she left for work in the morning.
Okay.
So it seems like they never see each other. He sleeps.
Yeah, they got a revolving door in this house.
That's tough. So Susan, maybe that's why they end up getting divorced later. So Susan says that Kevin called her at 6:35 a.m. and he was, quote, not in his right self, is the way she put it. Kevin said to her on the phone, quote, "It's been took care of." That's the quote, exact quote.
Boy.
By the way, I'm not countrifying any of these quotes. I'm going to give you exact court document, fucking state of Tennessee, stenographer quotes here. Said
Tennessee court clerk.
This ain't because people get mad and they think I'm like countrying it up. I'm not. I'm not making fun of this. This is what they're saying. Quote, "It's been took care of. I've called the fire department and the police department."
Oh.
That is really not enough information.
Those guys are concerned about a fence, huh?
That is not enough. Then she said, "What are you talking about?" And then he said this, quote, "They're not going to take me alive."
Oh, my God.
Which is not what you expect to hear at 6:30 in the morning.
That is the most accelerative conversation ever. From "it's been took care of, I called the police and paramedics, they're not going to take me alive."
They ain't taking me alive.
What?
A half hour ago, when she was leaving for work, he was going to mow a lawn. So this makes no sense whatsoever. He couldn't deal with this. We're going to talk to my brother about it later. Now they're not taking you alive? What's happening? So
you were about to mow a lawn.
She is terrified, obviously. She calls Jerry Clark And he said he didn't want to go on up there. That's what he said. That's what Jerry said. I don't want to know anything about it. Thanks a lot. So then she telephoned Kevin's friend, who's a pastor, named Kevin Phillips, and asked him to go investigate. Will you go see what the hell's going on over there? What kind of job does she have where she can't? I think you should. Okay, I know that there's hours you have to work and stuff, but if you go to your boss and say, hey, just talked to my husband. He said something's been, quote, took care of. He's called the police and fire department and then said they're not taking him alive. I need to go for a while. I'll be back before lunch. I feel like somebody would say, sure, no problem. Take care of your business.
I'm sure they would be as horrified as anybody to hear
my God.
those 3 sentences right in a row.
Plus, if you let her go take care of it, you're going to get a story when she comes back to work at some point. There's going to be something happening. So now Susan said that Kevin didn't make any threats to her about anybody, never said he was going to do anything. She said that she had not seen him fight with his brother Roy at all, but she had seen Roy stare Kevin down. And she'd seen Roy Clark tell Vida Clark that Kevin was staring at him, when in fact Kevin wasn't even staring at him. He was staring at Kevin. These are quotes from court documents.
These are adult men.
There are quote marks around this. People with college educations and law school, people who went to school for like 8 years are sitting in a room discussing this. So Vida calls 911 here at some point during this. When she calls 911, she reports that her son had come to her residence at 141 Hassler Road and, quote, shot both of them.
Oh,
that's what she said. That's what she said. Her son had come and shot both of them. She told the 911 operator that her arm is, quote, is about blowed off, is what she said.
Oh, dear God.
And then she made no other sounds. That's the last thing. My arm's about blowed off, and that was the last thing you heard from her.
Oh, boy.
So the operator dispatches police to the scene, which seems like the right thing to do. Also, neighbors call 911. Neighbors Jewel Bell Melton and Paul Walker, I assume.
Of course.
He had to take a...
He likes to think he's one of the regular people.
Yeah, this is pre-death, I think, 2000. I don't know when he died, but
I think he died in right around
now, right? Yeah, well, maybe he's not. Maybe he disappeared. Maybe he just went to the hills.
Maybe needed a fast ride after this.
That whole thing could have been a big ruse. He's just living in the hills.
He was just leaving this scene.
That's it.
Real fast.
Real fast and furious. They saw smoke coming from the residence at 141 Hassler Road, Vida and Roy's house. So she said she was on her front porch when she saw, this is her quote, she saw 141 Hassler Road go shebang.
Huh.
Shebang is her.
It blew up? The house blew up?
I don't know if it blowed up or, I don't know what, shebang. Yeah, I think shebang. There's no other shebang. She said that she thought the house, quote, probably caught on fire, blowed up or something. That's her exact quote. Like I said, this is the exact quotes.
Okay.
Blowed up or something. So she recalled shortly before the house was on fire that Kevin had called her and asked her if she knew that the fence was up down there. You know about this damn fence down here? She's like, in front of my house. I don't fucking care. Yeah. That's, tough. She said that she told him that she did and that Vida Clark had told her about the fence. So she said that Kevin said, quote, God bless you, and hung up the phone.
Oh, my.
That seems terrifying. This is all pre-7 a.m. also.
It's 6 p.m. to this guy.
Yeah, to him it's the middle of the day, yeah. So she then, the neighbor, she said that she was awakened by gunshots. That's how the whole thing started going on. Paul Walker said he was awakened by gunshots at 6:30 or 7 a.m. He said it sounded as though the shots had come from Vida Clark's residence. Mm-hmm. We're starting to put together a bit of a scene here.
Yeah.
He said he called a neighbor who said that he had not heard any shots. So Paul Walker said he later heard more shots. Then when he went to make coffee and returned to the window, he saw smoke coming from Vida Clark's residence.
That's the calmest motherfucker on the planet.
Shots? No shots? I don't know. Let me get some coffee. The mountains look pretty today. Is her house on fire? Shit. That's a morning. So during all this, before the cops get here and everything, Jerry Clark arrives. Okay, After
Jerry beat everybody there.
After because Susan had called him after Kevin called. Susan called him. He said, I don't want to deal with it, but he did. He went over there. Okay. When he arrived, he'll later say, quote, it was in flames.
Oh, God.
He also said that, listen to this, he saw his mother lying in the driveway.
Oh, my God.
His wounded, obviously hurt mother. Jerry Clark said that no one else was around. So obviously, when he tried to go perform CPR on his mom, right? No, he quote, kindly got himself out of sight.
What?
His mother, he saw there's a burning house and there's blood, and his mother's lying in the fucking driveway, which isn't her normal.
Arm.
Yeah, that's not normally where she watches The Family Feud. Right. And now she's lying in the goddamn driveway. And
kindly remove myself.
That's what he said. Kindly got himself out of sight. Rather than helping his mother. Mom, are you okay? Don't die, please.
He left like he told a bad pun.
Yeah, and just zipped out.
I gotta go.
Wow. That is something else, man. Also later on, he's executor of his mother's estate later on.
Oh.
And he'll end up suing Kevin for $1 million. So Jerry really is above the fray here.
Jerry is a wildcat.
Jerry's a wild card. Now,
holy fuck,
dude, this family is wild, right?
Ma.
She didn't even do that.
I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody thinking I did that.
I don't want to be on the scene when this comes up. Shit, I don't even want to be a part of this.
Jesus Christ.
Is that correct? Who could see their mother lying there and be like, well, I better skedaddle? Like, are you nuts? Help your mom. Fuck, your car's there with the door open. They'd realize you just got there, saw your mom, and you're trying to help her.
Right.
So the sheriff's department shows up here, obviously. The Overton County Sheriff's Department, they show up in response to Vita's call. They park several hundred yards away from the residence due to the nature of the call. They don't know if there are active shooters going on. So they use trees as cover and make their approach to the house. And they had been advised that the shooter was still on the scene by dispatch. They don't know, but they told them to keep an eye out. So
meanwhile, there's a house on fire.
It's on fire. So Sergeant Garrett, who's one of the guys, he approaches the house. As he does, he encountered some, quote, individuals who told them there was a body near the house. Hey, there's a body near that burning house.
How many people saw the body first? And
did nothing. So Sergeant Garrett observed the body lying 3 or 4 feet from the house, and after clearing the area, he and his deputy here dragged the body away from the flames. Okay. He said that the house was fully engulfed in flames. They set up the perimeter of the house, waited for other officers. As the other officers made their approach toward Kevin's house, as they approached, they saw Kevin standing in the doorway of his back porch with a camouflage rifle in his hand.
Oh, boy.
Okay, now, this is where it gets crazy, as if it hasn't been already. Kevin, he's wearing a field jacket, like a hunting fucking thing. He tells the officers to get back. Fall back, he says.
Yeah.
They're like, this is kind of our job. This is pretty much what we do. This is our whole, this is our World Series here. There's a house on fire, dead people.
Yeah.
So, we got to do something. So they initially did fall back, but then took another path toward his house. Remember, there's a second driveway, Jimmy.
Right.
So the Sergeant, Garrett, he recalls that as he began to cross a fence, he heard what sounded like 2 .22 caliber bullets. Okay, so as when this is going on, he hears this. Jesus Christ, man, that's wild. He just hears bullets as he's going over a fence. Who the fuck knows what's going on here? So anyway, he hears what sounds like 2 .22 caliber shots. Then Deputy Ledbetter, quote, came across and was turning to cover for another deputy, John Mackey, when Sergeant Garrett heard a larger boom that came from a larger caliber. At that point, Deputy Ledbetter grabbed his shoulder and hit the ground and said, I've been hit.
Oh, no.
Now he's shooting at the cops from back there as they're trying to approach.
Bigger rounds.
This is over a fence.
Right.
This is a fence. A removable fence.
So unnecessary.
This is fucking nuts. So the sergeant bends down and he removes Ledbetter's shirt and examines his chest underneath the ballistic vest and saw a large amount of redness in his shoulder area. So the vest actually helped.
Thank God.
It wasn't, the redness wasn't blood pouring out, so that's good. So the sergeant here negotiates with this guy here. The pastor had shown up on call. The pastor showed, can I help? And they were like, get in here. Let's go.
You sure can.
So at that point, when the sergeant and the pastor are negotiating with Kevin surrenders peacefully at that point.
Wow.
Puts his guns down.
All this to come on out.
And comes out. Yeah, this is wild, man. So when they enter Kevin's house after they arrest him, they observed, quote, a small kitchen-like table. It had 2 guns on it pointing out the window. He set up a whole well, this is where I'm going down. They'll never take me alive. They also observed a camouflage jacket on the floor, and they all the other deputies had the same feel. And they said that when they grabbed Vida Clark's body, it was quite hot. It was next to a fire. Right. And that when he grabbed her, it was just warm and, just a real jelly feel is what he said.
Newly dead.
Yeah, no rigor yet. Yeah. So the autopsies, holy shit. Because Roy Clark, they end up finding as well. Younger brother Roy. Roy. Autopsies of Roy and Vida, who both are killed here. Roy Clark's body had been burned to a point that portions of the body had started to disintegrate because of the burning. Actually cremating him.
Yeah.
That's that temperature it rose to. They said the feet had been burned off the body completely.
Shit.
And that part of the skull had been burned away, exposing his brain.
Oh, my God.
His skull, bone had been burned away.
Oh, boy.
In addition, quote, the body had also been injured by a shotgun wound.
Okay.
There's that. Based upon the location of the wound and the pellets found inside Roy Clark's body, the doctor determined that Roy Clark was shot back in the back left flank. Was that your shoulder, up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Pellets from the shotgun lacerated his spleen, left kidney, liver, diaphragm, pancreas, and the mesentery of the intestines, which is where the vessels run to support all of the intestines. So
that's shot in the back, lower back.
With a shotgun at close range.
Yeah.
The doctor said that the absence of soot from Roy Clark's airways established that he didn't breathe in smoke from the fire, so he was dead before the fire was lit. Additionally, the level of carbon monoxide in his blood was akin to that of a heavy smoker, but not at the level consistent with being alive during a fire. Okay. The doctor also determined that the cause of his death was a shotgun wound to the abdomen. The Dr. Deering testifies later that Vida suffers at least 2 and maybe stray pellets from more than 2 shotgun wounds. So she's got 2 shotgun wounds and maybe more. In addition, she had thermal injuries, burning, to her head, torso, legs, and right forearm. A shotgun wound to the back of the left side of her neck.
Ouch.
Oh, Jesus. Injured her vertebrae and spinal cord, and some of the pellets exited as they came out of her mouth, knocking out the teeth, lacerating the lips and face around the mouth.
What?
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. That is dark, man. That's fucking morbid.
He shot his mom that way.
That is his mom. Shotgun to the back of the neck, like a Gambino
and the blast
family
comes
member.
Out of her mouth.
Oh, so that sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah.
That is disturbing.
There's no way to interpret that other than aiming to kill. He's trying to kill her.
Close range. The second entrance wound was on the back of the left arm, and it followed a downward trajectory. That's why her arm's about blowed off.
Yeah.
The doctor said that Vida also had a number of separated pellet holes kind of scattered across the back. He said that these wounds would have come from the blast to her arm or from another blast altogether. Now, the problem here is she called 911. So what does that tell you?
She's a tough Southern lady.
It happened before that second blast is what that says.
Oh.
So she called 911.
Oh, because she only had the arm shot by
arm's
then.
about blowed off, and she could
So
speak.
then he shot her in the fucking neck.
Let me hang up that phone and execute my mother. Yeah. That's wild. They said, and this is what the doctor says, the doctor characterized the wound to Vida's neck as lethal. He said that it would have been impossible medically for Vida to call 911 after suffering that wound, and absolutely impossible for her to be able to speak or anything.
Holy shit.
It nearly severed her spinal cord and did sever the left vertebral artery, as well as fracture her jawbreaker teeth and seriously injure her lips, mouth, and tongue. So there's no way she could have done it.
Talk. Yeah.
Dialed it, spoke, anything. She got on, said, "Oh my God, I need help." He hung that fucking phone up and blasted her in the neck. And made
unbelievable.
Shit came out of her mouth. Over a fence. What the fuck?
Wow.
Doctor said that she would have fallen immediately after being shot and would not have been able to move. Vida's blood contained an elevated level of carbon monoxide, indicating she lived long enough to breathe the smoke from her burning home. He shot his mom, then went and set the fire, then came back and said, "Oh shit, mom's not dead. She's calling 911.
And shot her again.
It's 911, Mom, call him. And this is disgusting. So
that's too much.
Fuck, man. Fire investigator here shows up. Agent Greg Whitaker of the State of Tennessee Bomb and Arson Unit. He's called in. Woof, this is fucking terrible. Divides it into 3 crime scenes, which are Kevin's house, Vida's house, and where the body's found. 3 crime scenes. Begins his investigation by walking around the fire to try to develop fire patterns and looking at the damage to the residents to determine where the fire could have possibly originated. That's the point. As he circled, he saw numerous shotgun shells located on the outside of the residence. He was just shooting into the house. After the preliminary examination, he processed the scene from the area of less damage to the area of greatest damage. Out in. So the right side of the residence had the most damage. As he conducted the investigation, he made a video and everything. He said he found bodies of a human. That's Roy there in the kitchen of the burned home. The body had suffered severe damage, obviously. He said an unusual burn pattern was on the exterior of the residence, consistent with use of an accelerant to start the fire. At Kevin's residence, they found gasoline in quart jars, along with some foam-type products that you can use to make bombs. He's making Molotov cocktails over there.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. They said that it was, they concluded the fire was an incendiary fire. It is a set fire. He said there's no way that the fire could have started at its point of origin other than being set. No possible other sources of the fire existed. So, definitely burned it through. He threw Molotov cocktails at the house after It's fucking nuts. So he, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, they come in. Obviously, they need a bigger police force here to deal with this. So the local sheriff isn't enough for this. So they say that they seem to do a good job in the initial thing, though. They did what they could. Christ.
Yeah, not bad.
They didn't do a bad job.
I didn't hear anything that I would laugh at.
That's what I mean. We hear a lot. Well, I mean, we make fun of a lot of bad investigations. So
Yeah.
if you don't fuck up, maybe we go, hey, half decent job, I guess. So they recover also the Ruger 22 and Winchester pump action 12-gauge shotgun from Kevin's house. Murder weapons. They collected his jacket and tested it and found shells and 1 slug in his pocket. So they got all of that. Every piece of evidence that you could, that you could have. Yeah. It's all there. They also collected his clothing and boots and took all the evidence for testing, and everything matches up to everything. Obviously, during the processing, an agent discovered a casing from a 12-gauge spent shotgun round on the right side of the crime scene, another on the left side, another partially intact 12-gauge shell casing on the ground. He also found the skin to a metal door that bore a gash to the right of the doorknob. There was also holes in the doorknob itself, as well as holes in a dent in the door. He made to shoot out his door.
Yeah. Right.
He made little turrets. So the forensic examination said the shells were fired from the shotgun found at his house, and everything matches up. He said the birdshot pellets obtained from the victims in the autopsy were consistent with or within the size, weight, specifications of those shells determined to be fired by that shotgun. Also, forensic evidence ties his jacket, boots, and clothing with gunshot residue. It couldn't be more of a physical witness-based. It has every bit of evidence that you could possibly have, unless he wore a GoPro during this would be the only way you could have more fucking evidence during this shit.
He went live.
Yeah, this is crazy. So the charges are first-degree premeditated murder, obviously, of his mother and brother. And, it's also the felony murder of Vida Clark and the aggravated assault of the Deputy John Mackey and Sergeant Robert Garrett, and also reckless endangerment of Deputy Derek Ledbetter, who was shot.
Right. Yeah. That
seems like more than
attempted murder, for Christ's sake. Yeah.
Could be he fired a shotgun at him. That's
right.
I mean, that to me is...
And hit an officer.
Yeah,
that
to me, if you shoot a shotgun at someone, you're trying to kill them. No one's doing that for fun, you know?
Right.
So witnesses, every witness that, by the way, he tried to get witnesses to come testify for him, Kevin. Every witness that he asked to be subpoenaed said they were not going to help him and that they could only hurt his case. Every single one of them. They're like, dude, you don't want me to say the things I'm going to say. So they get Susan up there, obviously, because she's kind of in the middle of this whole thing.
Yeah.
She said that Kevin's attorney had an investigator come out and take pictures of the house. She said that there was a photograph of the fence at issue that was introduced to the jury. She did say she recalled an incident prior to this when Kevin shot repeatedly at his car. They're saying any other prior acts of violence. Yeah. And she explained, though, that he was using the car for target practice because it was going to be sold for scrap. So he was like, fuck it, wouldn't it be fun to shoot up a car? Which is what 16-year-olds do when they're left with shit. So they said, so it wasn't violent or anything like that. Anyway, obviously he is found guilty of everything you could possibly be found guilty of. And the district attorney said he would face a minimum of 51 calendar years for first-degree murder. A minimum of that. For one. Uh-huh. So sentencing comes around. Oh, boy. You, sir, may fuck off. Sentenced to life sentences for each of the two murder convictions, and it's ordered that those be served consecutively, not concurrently. Yeah, so you're never getting out. They then ordered the sentences for the remaining convictions to be served concurrently with the life sentences because, So there we go. He's off. 2018, he appeals this whole thing.
Really?
Oh, he's trying. He really does. He's trying. Well, this is what happens when you try cases in these small places is the problem. There's a juror named Travis Ballard who had improper communication with Billy Tim Brockett.
Oh, no.
He knows Billy Tim from a motocross event they hung out at together one time.
Yeah.
Literally. That's how he met him.
Two Travis Pastrana fans.
Yep, they hung out one time.
God damn it.
And Billy Tim had testified via video. They used a video of him, and apparently this juror called Billy Tim that night and said, quote, "I saw you on a video today." And then talked a little more. The juror said that he didn't recognize Brockett's name as it was given, but he knew because he knew him by Tim, not Bill. So that's why. And then he said that, they're saying, the defense here, Kevin is saying that this communication violates his right to an impartial jury. I mean, the jurors shouldn't be calling the witness that they just, that's probably bad. But I mean, it doesn't mean.
If we're talking about the difference between a 252 stroke and a 454 stroke, then shit, damn, this ain't even murder.
It's not, Jesus, it's barely aggravated assault at that point, right? I mean, I think, it's not great, but it's not enough to overturn the mountain of preponderance of. That wouldn't have changed anything.
Right. You murdered your mom, man.
Yeah, and Brockett said they didn't talk about Kevin further. It was just like, hey, I saw you on that video. That's crazy. What you been up to? How's your dirt bike doing? And then they got off the phone.
Damn, I miss Jeremy McGrath.
Man, he was good. Jesus Christ, he'd go upside down and shit. So he contends, though, this violated his rights, obviously, and also ineffective assistance of counsel on several counts. He says that he was not happy with the way his counsel...
I didn't win, so it was obviously awful.
Well, he said that they allowed things in they shouldn't have allowed in. And imagine being that lawyer. Like,
what do you do?
Dude, you told everybody what you're going to do. You called people. You gave a play-by-play. You shot your mom while she was on the fucking phone with 911 asking for help. Do you know how cold-blooded that is?
You told this whole story in 3 sentences to your wife on the phone.
Your wife was scraping scrap food. None of this is helpful, is what I'm getting at. You're fucking me over here, bro, and I don't like it. So you're ineffective. You know who's ineffective? You, motherfucker. You're an ineffective murderer and fence taker downer. That's what you are.
Just pay your taxes and shut the fuck up.
Jesus Christ. So there you go. Denied. That was in 2018. So he's still in prison and will be for a very, very long time.
Oh, thank God.
Tell me that story sounds like it took place in 2009.
Yeah, it sounds like they're prairie people that are just trying to survive, and somebody boxed up their driveway, and they're fucking pissed. You can't touch my land.
They're scrolling through Facebook on their phones while this is going on. Should I set Mom's house on fire or like my high school girlfriend's post? Like, which one should I do? That's what's happening in reality. This is fucking bonkers. Fuck. That's Monterey, Tennessee, everybody. And that is one crazy-ass story. If you like that story, get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. It helps a lot. It sounds weird, but it helps drive you up the charts. It takes 2 seconds. It takes way longer to put these shows together. Hook us up. Thank you very much. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get everything there. First of all of your merchandise you can get there. Everything from shirts to skateboards to cups to everything. It's on there. Folders and shit. Get your stuff. Then get your tickets to live shows. Holy shit. Live show tickets are on sale the entire year. All tickets on sale right now. And get them fast because some of these are...
hurry.
I mean, in Boston, in a day, it's almost sold out at the Wilbur already.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City, gone. Sold out. Already gone.
Sorry about it.
Denver's going to be next. And then there's this one. They're all going. So, Chicago, get those tickets. Holy shit, all the big old venue. We can't wait to get there. Dallas, Charlotte, Atlanta, San Diego. Get your goddamn tickets. Minneapolis, Philly, D.C. They're all for sale right now. And get your tickets also for the virtual live show, 420, April the 20th. Want to see a live show? Can't get to a live show? You can get to your living room and your TV. So watch us. It's just like a regular live show, but we're going to be hanging with you in your living room with a very stoned Jimmie, which is hilarious. So can't wait for that. Come and see that. It's going to be a shitload of fun. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get all of that. Follow us on social media to get updates for stuff. Yeah. We had people go, I didn't know there was a pre-sale that was 2 days before the regular ticket sale. Well, if you follow us on social media, you'd have a pre-sale code and you could have gotten in there. Instead, you're in Salt Lake City and you're shit out of luck. So we are sorry. No, honestly, we wish there was more, but we are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Murder Small on Twitter. So follow us and you can get all your updates. And we don't flood you with stuff. We just put up episodes and remind you about live shows once in a while. We're not one of those.
It's exhausting.
Absolutely. So get on there, do that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. That's where you get more stuff. Bonus stuff, bonus episodes, over 150 of them in the back catalog. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get access to all of that, and you get new episodes every other week, and we keep coming with them, and they're so much fun. This week, what you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the pictures that we keep seeing and are sent to us of black and white 1910 death row baseball team, and there's a fucking little blonde 8-year-old kid in full uniform sitting in the middle, sitting between 2 rapists. It's the craziest thing you ever want to say. What is happening right now? So we'll find out what was going on there for Crime and Sports. Then for Small Town Murder, this is so much fun. Defunct theme parks.
Oh, yes.
Theme parks that went out of business, bad ideas, stupid shit, terrible, horrible tragedies, people murdered and killed, and tiger attacked a lady. We'll talk all about it. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that and more. And we're very excited. Thank you for doing all of that. If you want to follow us on social media individually, very easy to do that. Shutupandgivememurder.com has links to literally everything show related that you could possibly want. So do there, get on that. Keep coming back week after goddamn week. And until next week, everybody, it has been our pleasure. If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.